Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto, and welcome to a new video. That's better. Welcome to a new video, middle of the day market update. I streamed earlier today as well, of course. I'm just going to be straightforward. What I said in the stream is still very much my thoughts on the markets right now. Now, there are some interesting things we need to talk about, and that's what we'll do in this video regarding the technicals and the fundamentals. The technical situation, especially for Bitcoin, is still very similar as this morning. For altcoins, it's almost the same as well, because the Bitcoin dominance is at the same levels. But we'll do a full analysis. All right. So basically, there's two main things I want to talk about regarding the fundamentals. The first one, obviously, being the news. That's also what I streamed about 2.5 hours back. And what I said back then is that, all right, well, the news practically is bearish. A higher than expected inflation rate is bad. But then we also had a higher than expected initial jobless claims and continuing jobless claims. That is also bad, but that's bullish for crypto. So that kind of negated the bearish effect from the news. What I said afterwards is that, all right, well, now we just need to see we need to see what the US session does in terms of the dollar strength index. So far, the US has been relatively strong with that as well. All right, or relatively strong. Yeah, the dollar strength index hasn't turned bearish yet, and that's what we need if we actually want very bullish market circumstances. So that's still the main question, right? All right, because what you can see, or at least that's part of the main question, because what you can see is that asset markets, such as the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq, even though the dollar strength index is bullish, which is bearish for all of those markets, they're going higher, and Bitcoin is dropping down lower. And we have to, well, at least I have no clear reason for that. I'll probably make the title something like, is the US government selling Bitcoin? Because there's rumors that the US government is selling off Bitcoin right now. And the main reasoning for that is that what we've seen so far this week is that during the US session, we've seen a lot of pumping, or a lot of selling, excuse me, not pumping, if only it was pumping. And that goes kind of hand in hand with what you can see if you look at, if I can find it. It's right here. So yeah, you should be able to see it now. If you look at the Coinbase premium, all right, so what you can see is that we've started to really develop a Coinbase discount, which usually means that either institutional investors or US investors are selling off a lot of Bitcoin. Now, I haven't seen any proof that the US is selling off Bitcoin. All right, there's no movements from their address, no major movements. I think it's more likely that this is about the hurricane in Florida right now. Now, do I know for sure that's it? No, but I know for sure that a lot of the Bitcoin that the US government holds, at least the Bitcoin we know of, is not moving. But the truth is that the US is selling. All right, so as long as the US is selling, we will not be bullish. So what that brings us to, technically for Bitcoin, which is very important for altcoins as well, with the Bitcoin dominance like this, what that brings us to is that, all right, well, it looks most likely that we'll drop down into this level right here between 59,000 and 60,000. Can we actually hold that level? And at this point of time, because that's the ideal scenario, right? So that we hold this level and that we kind of get into a consolidation here. That's the best case scenario for Bitcoin right now, given the selling pressure that we've had so far. And that is something we'll have to see. And honestly, if I look at the fundamentals right now, I would say it's most likely that we will hold this level and that we will be able to consolidate here. All right. So purely fundamentally, I would say that's most likely. But with the selling that's coming from the US, I just cannot tell you that this will happen. All right. What we need to see now is some sort of either a sweep down here. So we grab some liquidity down here and we actually spike back up and do some sort of a reclaim. That's what we need to see for confirmation, or just in general, some sort of a reclaim from current levels. If we see that, then I can tell you that we're going to hold this level and consolidate. For now, I do think this is most likely given the fundamentals and the way the dollar strength index is reacting to the news, which should have been more bearish. But it's also still like, if we do not get that, if we do not get some sort of a reclaim or a strong reaction after the sweep, we can still drop down lower. So be prepared for that. I would say, so if this happens, I was wrong. I'm fine with that. You should either way, you should be prepared for both. I would say this is most likely for now, or at least that we will be able to hold the support level and hopefully also get the reclaim. If we're talking about altcoins, everything is very, very correlated right now. So I mean, there's some altcoins that are still doing fine. Like if you look at the volume, something like Sui is holding up relatively well. Something like Uniswap is also holding up relatively well, is even bullish at this point of time. So that's all great, and there is still opportunities, but the opportunities are very limited. All right, so be careful. There's practically, if I look at this list, there's almost no altcoin that I would say that's very interesting to buy right now. All right, it only gets interesting if Bitcoin gets some sort of a sweep and strong support from the liquidity down here, or some sort of a bullish reclaim. So wait for that. Until then, stay risk off. Take care. I'll see you all in my next videos, and bye.